Hey there again. This is Nick Kosar with Open Road Digital, and I'm here with Simon Marshall, founder of TBD Marketing, and we are in Bristol, England. It is sunny right now. About 12 minutes ago, it was raining, and I guess that's par for the course, Si, right?
Well, good to Bristol.
Okay, got it. So we're talking about Digital Dale Carnegie is what we're talking about. Again, Dale Carnegie wrote in the mid-1930s. In America, a classic book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I'm sure there are many people out there who have read this. What we get a little bit frustrated by is that we feel that in digital environments, and that's social media, it could be messaging apps, it could be all kinds of things, people forget these fundamental principles. One of the things that I like to put it and say, it's what grandma taught you. It still matters, right? And so we're rolling through some of Dale's principles, and the one we're going to talk about in this clip is give honest and sincere appreciation. So, Si, I want to get your views on this, but before we do that, I want to just share a few quotes directly from Dale Carnegie about this principle. Okay, yeah. Number one, we usually spend about 95% of our time thinking about ourselves. Okay, and I think it's true. I mean, this is, you wake up and you think about yourself usually. Second, flattery is cheap praise. So again, he's talking about honest and sincere appreciation. Yeah. Okay. And the third one is, quote, one of the most neglected virtues of our daily existence is appreciation, unquote. So that's pretty tough. And I think, in a digital environment, when you talk about cheap praise, I think people view digital, especially social media, but even, what we think about websites and things like that as sort of a cheap form of communication. And so how do we uncheap it? Whether it's, on LinkedIn or, I mentioned messaging apps, email, any thoughts?
Yeah, there's some people I see do it really well. I'll name a couple of people on LinkedIn who I think do it really well. I saw a post by Leah Turner a while ago about a lead gen guy called Mike Walters who does landing page work. And full disclosure, he's done some work for me. I think I was his first client after Leah. And she wrote a post about the brilliant work he'd done and the difference it made to her business. And I think it's in that second point, isn't it? In terms of flattery or something that's vacuous, it's something that's meaningful. What difference did it make to Leah? And so it was really heartfelt, and the words that flow out then are really meaningful. I think the other person that I see do it really well on a regular basis is John Asperian. He is currently up to about 215 people that he has kind of done on his Friday shout-outs, Nick, and I think he is really good at telling people this person's a great person, this is why I should follow them, this is the difference they make in terms of who's in his community. But I think it has to have that personal element. There's risk in there, Nick. We have to talk honestly about what it is that person makes a difference. And it happened to me recently. Florence Brocklesby recently wrote a post, and her first line says, he doesn't know I'm doing this, but, and then just wrote this really lovely and effusive kind of LinkedIn post about the work we've done together over the last 4 years. And we got some leads on the back of it, Nick, and it was unexpected, and who knew, right? Third party endorsement, unrequested, and just coming across as really genuine, and it was lovely.
The word that you just stated that really stuck out to me is risk.
Yeah.
Right? Risk. And I remember I was a marketing columnist for a soccer/football website years ago. Yeah. And the risk was, people are going to hate what you wrote. But I think the risk that a lot of us are reticent to take is that we'll be ignored. We share something on any form of social media, we write a blog post or something like that, and it just goes out there into the whatever, the void, that sort of thing. And I think another part is not just showing appreciation, but I think there's ways to sort of be a connector. I can't remember the paradigm. Some people are like mavens, connectors, whatever that whoever wrote that. I remember reading that a dozen years ago or so. But for example, I've got a colleague, Justin, who is really good, I think, at connecting people, bringing people together and talking about digitally online topics, knowing, you could have 4 different people who are different experts at different angles of that. And I think that's a great way to show appreciation is bring out people's expertise.
I think it also highlights you an expert as well. If you're willing to do it, if you're willing to be generous and willing to celebrate other people's successes and expertise. We both do legal marketing. I think you're brilliant. But, there's loads of work out there. We don't need to cut across each other. So if I praise your work or Helen Burness's or anyone else in the market,
right.
All power to them, right? So whoever, right? Rising tide, you said before, lifts all boats.
Right.
I think if you don't do it, what's the cost, right? You don't know what that cost is. And if I only focused on myself the whole time and just spoke about that without praising anyone else, what a weird thing to do. It's just, we're not in a broadcast era, Nick, are we?
Right.
It's a dialogue all the time.
Well, and it's just the cost. You also, if you don't even try it, you won't know what the benefit is either. I think the other thing is, in a digital environment, we have to get used to, if we take an action, it can come back to us. So, for example, if you have a web page, I'm not talking about a website, but a web page, you have a specific practice area, and you link out to some high quality website, whether it's a government website or some expert or something like that. When Google is analyzing these pages, they'll see that you're linking to those. And to show that, it's not even, say, an appreciation for, say, a government website, but it's actually an appreciation for the reader, that you're willing to give them more information.
And even the author, Nick, as well. There's no harm on those web pages. We do it on some of ours as well. We'll take a snippet of, the post that they wrote about their blog post on LinkedIn, and we take that snippet. You can actually copy the code quite easily and dump it to a WordPress site quite easily and just say, look at this brilliant post about this thing. And I did it about Christy Guimont a while ago, who's a legal tech specialist, and we just dump it on the page. What happens next? She then feels validated, appreciated, her expertise has been endorsed, and she's got a vested interest in sharing that as well. I think that law firms could do so much more with the amazing amount of testimonials and the power they've got with their clients and their networks to talk about, if they've got clients to talk about their business more and endorsing themselves, just that, brand by association, Nick. I think it just endorses you. It doesn't need to be overt. It doesn't even need to say, Clifford Chance is the greatest law firm. It just doesn't, right? Just the fact that you've got someone from, Just Eat kind of turning up on your site and saying, we turn to these guys for our IPO and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that's enough, right? It's brand by association.
Right.
Yeah. And listen, I should appreciate you. I think that's important to do. Since we're on a podcast with each other as well. And you've always been someone who I think is very good at taking a beat, taking a moment to kind of just say something genuine and authentic, and I really appreciate it.
So, thank you.
Good man.
Likewise. So there it is. Wrap up. Dale Carnegie, Digital Dale Carnegie, give honest and sincere appreciation. It does not take a lot of time.